What if stress that you thought was normal has already turned into a disease? Cortisol is supposed to help us survive, but if it accumulates in our bodies, it actually generates a health condition, or even worse, diseases. You start seeing this by changes in your face, weakening of your muscle, raising of blood sugar of the heartbeat, and even high blood pressure or weakened bones. But not many people realize this until things are out of control. What are the symptoms of having high cortisol in your body? How can you recognize, if you look into the mirror, how can you recognize you have high cortisol and how can you control it? That's what I'm going to reveal to you in today's video. It's very common to go to the doctor, have all types of tests, lab tests been done or being made, and sometimes the doctor just comes back and says, hey, you're perfectly healthy, you have nothing. But the reality is that you feel that things are not okay, you feel tired, you feel that your hair is falling off, you're dry, you have dry eyes or even dry skin. Something is not right and you feel it just in your system that you were not feeling as good as you were maybe 10 years ago. And this is something that has explanation to it. The reality is that millions of people, if not the majority of us today, are living under high doses of stress. We have an accumulation of cortisol, and this accumulation of cortisol is generating just fatigue, changes in our body, and all types and sorts of symptoms that we are not recognizing. Before I continue, please make sure to subscribe to the channel, press that like and notification button, make sure to comment or write a question if you have one. I do read all the comments and I do answer to every one of your questions, so make sure to give this video a like button and subscribe. And having said that, let's continue. Number 1, the elevation of cortisol brings characteristic physical changes you can see. There are many classic and most recognizable signs. Many of these have a lot to do with how our body works. Remember, cortisol is the hormone of stress, and stress is going to activate all these processes in the body for you to be able to fight and flight, to have that response that is natural of the human body. To run, make sure that you accumulate liquids in order to have that blood pressure go up. You have to have more sugar, more fat in your muscles and in circulation in order to use that as a source of energy. And this is going to bring about lots of characteristical changes, physical changes you're going to see when you look in the mirror. The first one is a moon face, meaning that the face becomes rounded and swollen with the loss of a normal jawline sometimes. You see that you are bloated. You're looking at the mirror and you see that things are not as they used to be when you were young. This has a lot to do with stress. You're accumulating liquids, you are filling up with maybe more fat and more sugar that needs to be in circulation, and therefore you're also seeing obesity. You're also seeing weight gain. You're seeing a centripetal obesity, maybe meaning fat is accumulating in your abdomen, in your chest, in the upper back, and therefore also you might even see a dorsal fat pad, like a buffalo hump. Right? You see fat deposition in the back of the neck, posterior region of the cervical, and then obviously you see that there is more of a condition that has a lot to do with you gaining weight. It's not just gaining weight, it's actually retaining fluids, having later on circulatory problems, things that we're going to see in just a minute. Look for something like Neuromatrix, 5-HTP, melatonin, Q-Calm, or Berbrain from Finland that can help you out at drlandevar.com. Number 2, you see changes in your skin, your muscles, and your tissues. Cortisol is a catabolic hormone, meaning it breaks down tissues in your body. And it will do this because your body is needing sugar, needing fat, needing protein, needing all these tissues that are already in your skin, in your muscles, in your bones. It needs all these tissues in order to use them for that metabolic rate it's going to come into due to that fight and flight response. So you're going to see easy bruising. You're also going to see that your skin becomes thinner. You might see proximal muscle weakness, meaning your muscles are weak. You might be getting a sense of difficulty getting up from a chair, climbing stairs, lifting objects, and you start to see edemas also, the accumulation of fluids in your feet. This happens again because you have to have fluid in order to raise that blood pressure. Remember, you need raising blood pressure in order to run, to fight, to make sure that you can face whatever is going on with that accumulation of cortisol. And this is something very important because it really makes you understand that the body goes through a lot of changes in order for you to be able to fight that situation you're going through. Look for something that can help you, like Neuroflex, Metathyroid, Neuromatrix, 5-HTP, Q-Calm from Finland at drlandevar.com. Number 3, you're going to start to see severe metabolic alterations. Now, if you're going to run, remember, you're at a stress level situation, you have to fight or flight, right? Okay, but if you're going to run, if you're going to fight and flight, you're going to need energy. And it doesn't really matter if you've eaten or not. It doesn't really make any difference. Your body's going to take away or tap into any of the stored glucose, stored fat that you have already in your system. It's going to tap into your liver. You're going to see an increase of hepatic glucose production. You're going to see an insulin resistance because it's been probably going on for a longer period of time. You're going to trigger diabetes in the long run, prediabetes, severely worsened prediabetes symptoms if you have them. You're going to see that sometimes people will come into a doctor's appointment and will say, hey doctor, I'm doing everything I can for my diabetic control, but I can't control it. It just keeps going up. Guess what? It has a lot to do of what you're thinking, how you're living, what stressful situation you're going through, and sometimes it just has nothing to do with your diet. This is extremely important. Look for something that can help you a great deal control that sugar with something like Metaglucose, Diet Aid, maybe Neuromatrix, or that hypertension with Heart Excel, Garlic Gold on Cardio from Fineland at FinelandVitamins.com. Number 4, you're going to start to see dangerous systemic complications. All right, once cortisol is set in, it's accumulating, your immune system is going to go out of whack. It's going to feel depressed. It's going to not know what to do. Things are going to get messy. You're going to see low immunity, a cortisol situation that is immunosuppressive, because this hormone is immunosuppressant. You're going to see frequent infections, poor wound healing, which is something we see a lot in people with diabetes and cortisol problems. And you're going to start to see coagulation problems in your blood, like thrombosis, which is very common in people who sit around, don't have that physical activity, which is just adding up to the situation of having high cholesterol. It just becomes a mess. Everything becomes a mess. Whatever's worrying you, whatever you're just thinking about all the time, that is messing up your entire system. Remember this. This is extremely important. Look for something that can help you out with your circulatory condition. That will reduce your edemas, help you with your kidneys, with your immune system. Look for something like Probilion, Ureascence, Kidney Matrix. All these will help you deal with the situation, but at the same time, you need to help your brain be shut down by your will, because this is what's triggering everything. Don't forget to give us a like button, don't forget to share, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.